going to look at subtracting numbers. So we'll start with whole numbers and decimal numbers, and then obviously you'll see how we progress. All right. So when you're subtracting numbers, and very similar to the process that you do to add numbers, to be honest. So if you've had a look at the lesson on adding, you'll see the setup is very much the same. So it's all about kind of lining up your numbers very, very carefully in terms of ones, tens, and hundreds, and making sure that if you need to exchange numbers across when you take away, that you do so carefully. All right, you'll know what I mean in a second when I kind of do it. All right, so I'm going to subtract 64 from 347. So the number that obviously we're taking away from goes to the top, and the number that we're taking away goes underneath. All right, and of course, it's pretty useful to have a little subtract to aware that that's what you're doing. And then you are literally going to take away the number from the bottom away from the number at the top. Okay, so to start with, obviously start from the right-hand side, obviously with the ones column, and you're going to do 7 take away 4, which is going to leave you 3. All right. You're then going to do the next column, which is going to be 4 take away 6. But obviously the problem with 4 take away 6 is that the 6 is bigger than the 4. So what we need to do is we need to get this to be bigger than 6. So that means I need to exchange 1 from here. So I'm going to take an additional 1 off here. All right, so take 1 off there, take it down to 2, and then add that number to here. All right, so that's going to make that 14 essentially. So that's going to come down by 1. So we're exchanging one of these to go into this column, so that makes that 14. And now I can do 14 take away 6, which is going to give you 8. And then, of course, I'm now down to 2. So 2 take away nothing leaves me with 2. All right. So that process there, obviously, it's about exchanging 100 into this column, so that it ends up being basically 140 take away 60, which is going to be 80. So that's essentially what you're going to do. But it's really just a case of take one off that one and add it to that one, so it becomes 14. So then I can take away 6. All right. Well, decimals is no different really. Again, it's all about kind of lining up your numbers and making sure that if there are any gaps missing, that we fill them with zeros. So if I'm subtracting 5.43 from 9.8, all right. Well, 9.8 goes at the top and 5.43 goes underneath, and you'll notice what's missing is here. So we need to kind of fill that gap with a 0. All right, and then we're going to try and take away 0 take away 3. All right, obviously I can't do 0 take away 3, so I'm going to do like I did before. I'm going to exchange 1 off here, so take 1 off this. It's going to go down to 7, and then we'll put 1 over here to make this 10. So 10 take away 3 is going to give me 7. 7 take away 4 is going to give me 3. And then 9 take away 5 is going to give me 4. And of course the decimal point stays exactly where it is, so it's going to give me 4.37. All right, so really with decimals it makes no difference as long as you're lining up your numbers perfectly. Okay, if you're going to do more than one number, all right, so you're going to 2 numbers or more, then again the process is very much the same. I'm still going to line them all up perfectly, but of course when you're doing this, it's going to just take a little bit more time to consider what we're going to take away. So I'm probably going to do it in 2 stages. All right, so I'm going to do add these 2 things together first of all. So I'm going to do 500 to take away both of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these 2 together to start with, and then know that I'm going to subtract them both from this at the end. All right, so when I add, again, so 6 plus 8 is 4, and carry the 1. 2 plus 3 plus the 1 is 6, and then 1 obviously is there. So 164 is the total of what I am taking off the 527. So we're now going to do, like we did a minute ago, 527 take away 164. So 7 take away 4 is going to give me 3. 2 I can't do, because I can't do 2 take away 6. So again, I'm going to exchange 1 off the 5, which is obviously done in the wrong order. But then you've got 12 take away 6 is going to give you 6. And then 4 take away 1 is going to give you 3. So 363. All right, so a bit more time needed, because what you need to do is know the fact that you're taking away 2 numbers. So add those 2 together first, and then take away from the number at the beginning. Okay, so that's subtracting. Of course, if you need some practice, then obviously go to maths-school.co.uk, where there are a bunch of questions for you to practice on. All right, thanks for listening.